Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Sunday, March the 24th, 2013, and here is today's weekend review brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend so far and are able to relax and take care of some of the things that you don't get a chance to do when we're busy trading throughout the week. Get active, go to the gym, spend time with your family and friends, and do some of the things that you have on your to-do list, people. In any case, let's go ahead and talk about the markets here, see what the market did for the week. I want to go ahead and take a look to see how the markets closed the week out, see what they gave us to work with this week. And you can see here, starting off with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ was up 0.23%. The Russell 2000 was down 0.10%. The Dow Jones was up 0.41% for the week. The S&P 500 was up 0.31%. Crude oil was down 0.35%. GLD gold was up 0.11%. XLF, the financials, were down 0.52%. The transports were down 1.02%, and the S&P 500 was up 0.30%. So pretty much some decent action across the board. We did see some weakness in the transports, which this has been a strong sector, so that's not a problem. The financials did show some weakness, I believe, with all this little Cyprus news. Some of this, these stocks have been getting some pullback action. Crude oil had a little pullback for the week, but had a nice little day on Friday, which kind of gave back some of the losses that it had, which kind of made back some of the losses that it had earlier in the week. And the Russell 2000 showed a little bit of relative weakness intraday, and you can see here on the closing basis for the week compared to the other indices. The Russell 2000 was showing some weakness intraday. And now that we look, throughout the week, and now that we look at the end of the week here to see how they closed, to see how it closed, you can see it was down 0.10%. So a lot of interesting action out there. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts, people. I want to start by taking a look at the SPY monthly chart. I know this candlestick has not closed yet, as this week's going to be the last week for this month for trading. And you can see right now we're on a green candlestick here, and we have had so far 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive higher closes confirmed. And if we close up this month above last month's close, we're going to have 5 months confirmed closes higher, which definitely shows you the trend intact there. And that's on the monthly time frame. If we take a look at the weekly time frame, you can see the SPY held at 152 area of support. We have some little short-term resistance around the 156.86 level, and the all-time highs on the SPY is 157.52, which we're we're about $2 off of that or so. So weekly chart of the SPY still looks intact here. You can see the uptrend is still intact, looking pretty nice. Let me put this little trend line in right here. Wherever you want to draw it, you can put it right here. So you can see the uptrend is still pretty much intact and looks pretty good, guys. Plain and simple. If we take a look at the daily chart now, again, that 153 level prior resistance, now support on this side. We held that area when we tried to sell off down towards that level on Tuesday. Dip buyers came right back in. Now for the week, you can see we pretty much traded in a range here between 156 and 154, a 2-point range. So going into next week's session, if we start to hold above 156, look for a push back up towards the highs. If we start to hold below 154, look for a push to 153, then for a break below 153. And if we just trade sideways, look for that continued range action between 156 and 154 on the SPY, people. Let's go ahead and take a look at the triple Q, starting off with the monthly chart on this one as well. Again, this is the last trading week for the month here, so we'll see how this closes. So the triple Qs, they've been trying to hang in there. Some decent action in the triple Qs on Friday, thanks to Apple getting a nice little push up here. You can see this one so far. If we close out a positive month in this one here, you can see this is going to be the third consecutive higher close. So far, we already have 2 consecutive higher closes. If we close out this month on the upside, we'll have 3 consecutive higher month closes, which is pretty good. And hopefully this triple Qs can start catching some action, as they have been the laggard. This has been the laggard index ETF here out of all the rest of them. In general, of course, the NASDAQ has been lagging, which is what this triple Q tries to mimic here. Which is supposed to mimic, I should say. So let's see what else do we have going on here. So the triple Q's weekly chart. I'm still watching this little action right here to see if we're going to have that little rising wedge that you can see right here forming a bit. See if it's going to break down. Obviously, it's not breaking down right now, but we just have it on watch. We're still playing to the top. We're still watching the top side more than the downside. Again, this triple Q, the Nasdaq, did show some relative strength this week compared to the other indices, especially I believe, especially on Friday. Friday it shows some. Friday the Nasdaq shows some decent strength, and you can see here a nice candlestick for the close, holding above that key 68 consolidation level that we were tracking. That we got that big expansion bar breakout. You can see we pulled back down a little bit as we opened the week down, and then they rallied us right back up. So that's pretty good. Right, this was a buyable pullback that people have been looking to get buy the dips bought right there, and we'll see if we could get a break over 69. At the same time, just keep in mind you have this nice little pattern that's in play right here. All right, but 68 is a short-term level to watch on the triple Qs. Short-term resistance level to watch on the triple Qs is around 69. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see I have another little wedge here. It kind of it's obviously the same one as they see on the weekly chart, but it's probably a little bit different here. As some trend lines that I connected here, maybe a little bit different, but you can see the pattern is pretty much the same here. Rising wedge that's in play. Really until we break below 67.50. Got to expect this thing to try to trade sideways to higher. If we get over 69, we could get a nice quick move up towards 69.50, possibly even 70. As you can see, this triple Qs have been trading in a range between 69 and this 68 level here with some little shakeouts below 68 that have been getting bought up, especially this week here. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, some decent action in the triple Qs. Just got to remain neutral to bullish on that, I would say. If we take a look at the IWM, the Russell 2000 has been showing some great strength as well. Monthly chart looking pretty clean here. Of course, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive higher closes. We'll be looking for the 5th consecutive higher close unless something drastically changes the trend here in the short term, like some news out of Cyprus, and then we break down or gap down or something like that and just sell off. Who knows? I highly doubt that. With all the news going out there, these banks and the crisis and this stuff, the market's still finding dip buys. The market's still looking good, so we remain neutral to bullish on the markets here. You take a look at the IWM weekly chart, still looking pretty good. Again, above all the key short-term moving average here, the 8 EMA SMA, the 5 EMA SMA. Stick with the trend, people. Daily chart shows us a little bit of something different here, showing us that we could possibly be forming a nice little wedge here against this key trend line that I've been watching. All right, nice little tight wedge right there. Use this trend line that you can see is getting respected. All right, and we're going to have to see if this wedge plays out. All right, off this key trend line that we were tracking from before. All right, then we should see a move higher, obviously because the trend's higher. However, if this thing breaks down, we're going to see some sellers come in and try to knock us right back down towards, I would say, 92.70 or so. So we'll keep on watch for that. We'll see how it plays out. Again, levels to watch, IWM 95, and I would say down here towards 93. So a big little $2 range going on here in the IWM. All right, if we talk about the dollar futures here, the dollar futures last week showed some early week strength and then showed some weakness here going into Thursday and Friday. And even Wednesday, we saw some weakness on Wednesday. Dollar breaking to the downside would be good. Would give us a bounce in the commodities, which could push the indices higher, at least the S&P 500, since there's a lot of energy stocks in the S&P 500. Would also give some of these commodity stocks that have been getting beaten up a bounce. One thing that I see right here that you could draw on, you could take this little trend line right here, takes the little trend line right here, and you can see what could be forming right here is a nice little rounding possible top unless we bounce right back up here, which then even still then we could still be forming a rounding top on the dollar, which is pretty interesting because if we roll over, again, the market should get a nice bounce. Commodities should get a nice little bounce back up. That should push the markets back up. And since they've been lagging, that would probably propel the markets to new highs, at least the S&P 500, which has yet to make new highs. And then maybe we'll probably see some money start to come back into the technology stocks if people think the markets have another leg higher and they don't want to miss out on that. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll definitely be on top of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the euro dollar. All right, euro dollar got a nice little bounce. Let me take out all my drawings here. Euro dollar got a nice little bounce on Friday. We're sitting right on top of the 200-day simple moving average. I would say as long as we hold above this 129 level here, look for the euro, try to get a bounce, maybe up here towards these 131s, 132s. We'll have to wait and see. All right, based on my channel analysis, what I've been watching, what I've been tracking the dollar with, the euro dollar with pretty accurately via my system. We came right back down here. We didn't really go back to the bottom of the channel, kind of like we were looking for, since we had this little bottom channel action down here. All right, we're looking for a move down. We did kind of push down here, but it looks like we held this little middle channel line right here, and we're kind of just chopping around. I would say like right here and right here. So a little bit of action that's happening outside of my channels here. But then again, nothing going on the euro, really just going sideways at a slight angle, pretty much is what I'm trying to show right here. So just a little consolidation. Is this going to be consolidation for a move back to the top side, all right, or a move break to the downside? We'll have to see how that plays out. So let's go ahead and talk about the commodities now. Commodities, again, gold had some decent action this week. We take a look at the monthly chart on gold. Still trading sideways. Take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart on gold. Still in this nice little long-term downward channel. Gold has been in a downtrend since the beginning of October of last year. And you can see so far we have had 2 consecutive higher closes. We're looking for that 3rd consecutive higher close, maybe to get some more people that are looking for gold to confirm some type of bullish action. And I would say if we get 3 consecutive higher closes for the month, that can maybe bring in some bulls, and we'll see what can happen from there. If you take a look at the weekly chart, no, that's the daily chart. Sorry about that. I just showed you the weekly chart. Just take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart, nice little short-term downward channel from this November peak that I took from the high bit here. That resistance will line us up with around the 1640, 1630 area. If you guys recall, 1630 was a key area to watch on gold before. That's when we got the little breakdown right here. That comes from that nice little consolidation that we had back here in July. Back here, May, June, July, little resistance. All right, 1630, we broke out. Then we go back over here to the right side. Sorry about that. You can see once we broke down past that level, we had some nice selling pressure going on. So now we're trying to rally back up. So now the thing is that if we get back up towards 1630, we break above it and hold, that would be a good sign for the bulls. If we go up towards 1630 and we get rejected and we move right back down, that would be a good sign for the bears. That shows you that there's still some more sellers looking for gold to move back down, and then they'll probably push back down towards back below 1600 if we were to pop up towards 1630 and get rejected. At the meantime, we do have some resistance in front of that 1630, and that's right here at 1620. Comes from this action right here, and if we get rejected at 1620 and not 1630, that shows you that the gold's even weaker because the bulls can't push it up to 1630. Also shows you that we could just pull right back down towards this little range that we're trading in between 1620, excuse me, and this little 1570 area, this little big range that we have going on right now. So again, that's another thing that we're watching out for. I know some of you guys watch the GLD, so I'll take a quick look at the GLD. GLD bounced up towards those 156.82s. The gap down on Friday, got bought up a little bit. Not much traction going on there. If we take a look at the weekly chart, same pattern, of course, as gold futures. Just want to show you guys, some of you guys that watch GLD. If we take a look at the monthly chart, you can see this thing's holding some support around the 151.85 area. Call it 152. It's a nice little range right here. So I mean, in general, guys, gold has pretty much been trading sideways since mid 2011. All right, so all this money inflation that supposedly has been going on has not, been causing inflation, at least from a perspective where people are looking to go out there and rapidly buy gold. Now, food prices are going up, energy prices are going up, but the inflation that I guess people are expecting, where everybody would be running out buying gold, is not happening. And in the meantime, right now, it's just trading sideways, so keep that in mind. We take a look at silver. Silver's been trading in that range. I believe it was, 2750? Yep, 2750 and 2850. When the precious metals popped up on Thursday, you can see it gapped up, didn't do much, and it gapped right back down on Friday. Silver is something that I would stay away from right now, really, unless you're doing some type of strategy where you could capitalize on it trading sideways. All right, I would not be messing with silver right now, or unless you like to trade range-bound activity, which there are some people out there that have that in their strategy. If we take a look at the weekly chart, sideways again. You can see pretty clean on the weekly chart, sideways. One thing to take note of, though, it's sideways below all these key moving averages. It's also sideways after making these lower highs on the weekly time frame. So that would mean that if this thing was to break down, next level support to watch would be down here towards 26. All right, we take a look at the monthly time frame, and you can see again sideways. All right, let's take a look at lovely copper. Let's see what copper is doing here. Take a quick look at the monthly on copper. Sideways action since last year, beginning of last year. It's just really been going sideways there. Take a look at the weekly, sideways. Take a look at the daily, which is what I usually just take a look at copper on the copper futures. Copper futures moving their way down towards our bottom band down here, a little bottom mattress support, I like to call it. This little big zones like a big mattress. All right, and ever since we've been holding below 53, 53 half, we've been looking for this thing to continue moving its way down, and it's trying to work its way down. Had a little bounce midweek here, and until it gets back above say 355, I think copper is a nice little short, is in a nice little short-term downtrend, which you could draw right here, and you can see it's in a nice little downward channel, guys. So copper's kind of weak. Let me take a look at FCX and SCCO, which are the main copper stocks I watch. Yeah, FCX trading sideways, not doing much, and SCCO is sitting right near its 200-day simple and exponential moving average, so not much going on there. All right, so what else we want to take a look at? Crude oil. Let's go and take a look at crude oil. We already took a look at the precious metal, the currencies, the general markets. Let's take a look at crude oil. Again, crude oil had a nice little bounce on Friday. If crude oil could get back above 94 and this little high that it made on Tuesday, we could be looking for crude oil to make a move back inside this little supply zone that we were tracking here. And hopefully we can get a move back up towards 97, 98 if you're bullish on crude oil. Obviously, that's not going to be good for us consumers because energy prices are going to go back up at the pump. But, this is, of course, we're talking about trading here, so this is a little trade idea. Keep an eye on crude oil. Nice little up move off the low, sideways action. Back above 94. You take this thing up towards 95, 96, 97. Basically back inside this little supply zone that we were tracking, that we chewed our way through before. But then crude oil came and got some weakness, was not able to hold this little wide range right here, and then fell right back down. And now we're trying to work our way right back up in this little zone right here. So we'll see how that plays out. If you take a look at the weekly chart of crude oil, it did get that nice little back test that we mentioned here in our prior videos of this little trend line, and it still has some way to go. Again, the top of that triangle that we've been mentioning on the monthly chart here, all right, is right up there towards 98.41. Back up towards 100 will be the highs that we made back here in September. Will be the highs that we made on crude oil back in September here, which will be the next target if we were to break past 98. Again, though, I'm looking for a big move in crude oil sometime this year. You can see we're getting closer to this apex right here. We're going to have to wait and see if it's going to be a breakout to the top side as global demand's coming back to the market, or it's going to be a breakdown as things possibly start to get worse around the global economies and maybe more news about the economy slowing down, the whole world starting to slow down and a little bit. We'll see. Again, they got the whole Gulf City stuff in China. We have the whole European crisis stuff still lingering in the markets. Then we have the whole markets going up, but nobody's believing this market move action. So we'll see how crude oil takes that. I know some of you guys take a look at USO to trade the markets. Let's take a look at USO, see how crude oil is doing via the USO ETF, crude oil ETF. And it's looking all right, holding above that 33 level. Needs to really get back above these 33.70s for some gap fill action, which could take it back up towards 34.10 or so. And really, this thing has been trading in the range between 33 and 33.70 for the past 2 weeks. So you do have some range action to work off of. Meaning that if we break out, all right, you have this nice little demand that was down here that you could basically put your stop against. So you could put a stop below 33.70 or put a correct textbook stop below these lows right here. Obviously, discretionary stop would be right here, slightly below the breakout level. All right. Sometimes you could get stopped out, or if the momentum's there, they could take it higher, and you could have a nice little tight stop on it, and then trail your stop. So we'll see how that plays out. Weekly chart, again, sideways action. Monthly chart, sideways action in the USO. Still waiting to see what crude oil is going to do this year, guys. All right, so what else did I want to take a look at with you? All right, so that's about it for the general markets. Let's go and take a look at some stocks now. The first stock I want to take a look at is Apple. Apple had a nice little move on Friday, pushed in the markets up, well, at least pushing the Qs up and giving the market something to work off of to bounce to the top side here. You can see a nice little up move, pull back. I did talk about this, I believe, in Thursday or Wednesday night's video. Talked about the target being 466, and looks like we're going to hit that. This thing has been trending below the 50-day simple moving average for a while. So if we get a break above the 50 and Apple can start getting its groove back, I would say the next target is going to be back up here towards 480. So I would definitely keep a close eye on Apple, folks. This thing could be ready to get some type of meaningful bounce that these people that have been trying to buy the bounce down here have been hoping for. All right, because now we have a little shakeout below this 440 level. So all these people that try to short down here could be trapped. We have a nice little move up, little 3-bar pullback action, and now we're trying to break out with the buyers that came in Friday on a nice little move up. So we'll see how that plays out. Keep an eye on Apple. Take a look at the weekly chart with you guys real quick here. Weekly chart, I mean, this thing's all the way down from 700 back at 443. Take a look at the monthly chart, and this thing had, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive lower closes. If we get a close up for the month, this will be its first, higher close for on a monthly basis from the prior 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months or so. All right, so keep that one on watch as well. Amazon, pretty interesting. Nice reversal day on Friday. Broke below the week's lows there that we made on Tuesday and retraced right back up and closed on the highs. This could be a reversal candlestick. Keep Amazon on watch. We actually mentioned this one in the intraday chat room during the session. All right, you can see this thing, 5-minute chart. And you can see this thing just made a nice move here. All right, nice move. Sold off to 252, rallied up, gave you a nice little entry for a pullback. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way, guys. And then just went up steadily since then. So Amazon's a stock that we have on our radar to watch on Monday. Some other strong stocks out there. You could take a look at CBSX for the energy sector. All right, this stock is moving to the top side, looking pretty nice. One of the stronger stocks out there in the energy markets. ExxonMobil, another large cap integrated energy company here. This thing's been trading sideways, but who knows? If CVX continues to make new highs, maybe this thing could pop right back up. 88 is a key level on ExxonMobil, and so far this thing has been holding 88 for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks here. All right, for the past 7 weeks, ExxonMobil has been trading in the range of holding 88. So, in other words, this is kind of like a little demand zone because they're holding that little bid down there against 88. This thing takes out over 90. You could get a nice little traction here to the top side. And then we have the fact then to work against that will be the fact that Chevron is making some new highs, and that's where you get the idea of people looking to buy another stock in the same sector of a competitor or another stock that looks like it could bounce up. You guys get the drift what I'm trying to say here. So keep an eye on ExxonMobil. Looks pretty interesting. Another energy stock that looks pretty good is TSO. This thing has been on a nice little steady uptrend. Had a nice little pause day on Thursday. Got bought back up on Friday. This thing looks like it wants to take out these highs right here and make new 52-week highs. And, oh, nope, not new all-time highs. New all-time highs would be up here around 65.98, as you can see from this monthly chart. And then look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart looks pretty good, guys. Nice little support down here at 55. Has been holding, held last week and held again this week. So keep an eye on TSO, another energy stock out there that looks pretty interesting and pretty good. Retail stocks popped up on Thursday and Friday. You can take a look at Walmart. Walmart had a nice little move here. Looks like Walmart's going to try to push up higher, back up towards, I would say it wants to go back up towards these highs up here, really. Back up towards 77.50 with all that news that came out from Walmart with their slowest sales for the past 7 years and all that crap that kind of just try to get people short. Buyers are still coming back in. So I would say first target to be around here around 70, I would say 75, 76 area. Not 75, but 75, 75. Just call it 76. And then back up here towards 77. Take a look at Williams-Sonoma. This stock looks pretty interesting as well. Nice little gap up, trading sideways, keeping on this little tight high flag right here. Target, same as just like Walmart. Nice little move up here. This thing over 68.87, call it 69, can make a nice fast move to the top side. What else? Qualcomm. This semiconductor stock looks a little bit interesting. Needs to break over 66.12. If it can get over 66.12 with some traction, I think this thing can make a nice move back up towards 67. Then we can gauge it from there. All right, CRUS has been getting smacked down along with Apple. Ever since Apple's been getting smacked down, this stock has been getting smacked down. I believe they were making the microphone chips or something for Apple's iPhones. In any case, this thing ever since it broke below 25.48, it's been getting just drastically sold off here. I mean, this thing has, was all the way at 32, and now it's back all the way at 22. Hit a low of 22 3 weeks ago. So this thing could break over, I would say 24, and hold above 24. We can maybe get some nice traction in this stock right here. CREE has been a strong name to keep on the docket. CREE, CREE. Weekly chart looking pretty well. Monthly chart looking pretty strong. Look at this monthly chart. This thing looks real strong here. And they came out with some good news. They made some new type of LED lights, which saves energy and and it's more efficient. So it's pretty good. MGM casino stock. This one has been getting some traction here. You can see had this nice little move outside this little range. Expansion candle pulled back towards this 1275 area, and it's been holding that level right there. So this thing gets over 1325. Look for this thing to make a move towards 1350 and look for it to try to break out. As long as it doesn't break below this little low right here on this expansion candle, you're pretty good. One of the stronger stocks out there in the market, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been performing pretty well. We have this one on watch for Monday as well. If it can break over Friday's highs of 183, we'll be looking for a move up towards this 184.28. A little quick move up that would be, and then look for a new all-time high in this stock here. Pretty strong LinkedIn. All right, folks, that's about it. Actually, let me talk about some weak stocks real quick. Lulu has been on the news headlines for the see-through pants, which I'm not sure why that's a problem for us guys, but for you girls, for you ladies, I can understand. But in any case, I'm joking, by the way. If we take out the lows of Lulu of 61.60, look for this thing to move back down towards 60 and then towards 59.58. One of the interesting things about this stock is the weekly chart is breaking down out of the uptrend that's been intact since back here of 2010. All right, and again, the people are selling freaking yoga pants that cost 80, 70 bucks. Who buys yoga pants that cost 70, 80 bucks? The hype was there, and now the hype is coming out. Big break, big volume. Guys, keep an eye on Lulu to the short side. This stock could be in play to the short side for short rallies for the whole month, going into next month, for the next couple weeks here. So keep it on watch, people. What else do I want to talk about here with you before I end the video here? Halliburton looks like it was trying to get some selling pressure. Halliburton looking a little bit weak. And then you have GES, GES, which is looking a little bit weak for the retail sector. This thing looks pretty good if it breaks below 25 and holds below 25. So all in all, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, we went over the general markets and we went over stocks. Tonight, my partner James Saracino, he usually hosts a little review session in the chat room at 9:30 p.m. If you have not been to our website yet, it is wallstreettrading.com. Go check it out. We have a lot of good stuff. Again, to get the real action, to see what we do, you really want to come into our chat room. That's when we call the great trades out with tight stops, high probability trades, maneuvering you through the markets, trading stocks off the ES. So if you're a futures trader, you're more than welcome to come in the room and trade the futures with us. We have some guys in the room that trade futures. We have some guys that trade equities off of the futures action, which is kind of what I do and what my team does. But again, come check us out, wallstreettrading.com. Fill out the form on the right-hand side for the 14-day free trial. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, StockTwits, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, everywhere, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day off. Cheers.